Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear brother. So our dear brother currently is saying that he is stuck in the villages and he does not know what he is supposed to do. He says that he's just asking for any form of a donation so that at least he can start to sell. He said, even bananas or anything, I don't even mind because I am stuck. So this man, he was saying that when he was still in South Africa, he was someone who had money, but he was involved in a lot of gangsterism and a lot of criminal activities. So this is his own confession. The story goes on like this. Hello, Brother Nasha, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? So my mother, a very long time ago, she went to South Africa. She then got married to a South African man, and my mother had 2 sons with that South African man. So then my mom collected me and my siblings and we started staying there in South Africa. So whilst I was growing up, then I ended up making a lot of mistakes in my life and I joined this other gang, this crew. We used to go around and we'll be breaking into people's homes, and after I had graduated, I started operating on my own until I met this other woman. This woman made me to do what I call the darkest mistake of my life. I cannot go back and change what I did. This was around about 6 years ago, but I can at least tell the truth and hope that my story serves as a warning to other people out there. There is no benefit in these criminal activities. So this is what happened, Brother Nashi. 6 years ago, I was desperate. Life had been hard for me since I now had my own family. We wanted to stay in SA, but since I had married a woman from my own country, then I told her that it was far much better that she stays home whilst I was working for her. And I was struggling to make ends meet at that time. And my stepdad, it seems as if he did not like me because he was saying that I was becoming a bad influence to his own kids. And one of my other sibling who was in university, he said that I was bringing gangsterism into his family, and there was no such case of gangsterism in his family. So I knew that this old man, he did not want to see me at his house. So I moved out and I started staying with one of my friend who was also a thief. So whilst I was staying there, that was when we hit the jackpot. When I say that we hit the jackpot, what was happening was that I did not even have any food at all to eat. Then I went to church. I just went to church because I just wanted to give my life to Christ. Whilst I was there, there was this other woman. She kept on looking at me. She was very beautiful. Later on, she told me that she had scouted me from the moment that I entered into their church building, and she saw that with the tattoos and everything that I had, I was the perfect man for the job. And she said that even though she knew that she had scouted me, but at the same time, she fell in love with me because I looked like a bad man, someone who is a thug. So she fell in love with me like that. Then when we started dating, that was when she told me about her pastor. She told me that she was the pastor's girlfriend, secret girlfriend, and people in church did not even know that she was the pastor's secret girlfriend. And she told me that this pastor had a lot of money that was lying around. So this man, what we did not know, me and this girl, was that this was not an ordinary pastor. Like this man, he was involved in occultic practices. His wealth and influence came from dark sources. All that she saw was the money, but what she did not know was that there was a demon that was behind him. To us, it was just an opportunity, a way to change our lives, and we were already planning for the future. We wanted to get married. My friend and I planned to rob him. We thought if we could get into his house and steal his money, we would set for life, and I had already organized, and I thought that I would return back to Zim, and I knew that I was going to have my wife in Zim and also my wife in South Africa. We ignored Brother Nashi because I started having these strange dreams. I'll see this pastor as he will be chasing me down and murdering me, and those were the same dreams that my girlfriend and my other friend, who was also involved in this deal, was having. And we thought that maybe it was just a random dream, but at the same time we overlooked the fact that we were having the same dream at the same time. One night we broke into his house. It was quiet and dark, but there was something strange about the place. The place did not feel right at all. Brother Nashi, it was as if the air was thick like a blanket. You could feel it, almost like there was someone that was watching us, but we did not care, for we had done this over 1,000 times. We found a safe which was in his office, and we started taking money. We counted the money, and what I liked the most was that even though there was not a lot of money, but jewelry, there was a lot of jewelry that was there. Anything that we could carry, your mobile phones, anything, we just took everything. As we were about to leave, that was when we had a voice. Brother Nashi, we had a voice. At first, this voice, he started speaking really softly, and then we had someone who was chanting coming from one of the rooms. This chanting, it sent chills down my spine. I told myself that we were going to be fine. We got what we came from, and when we were leaving, Brother Nashi, we had a bell. It was a soft bell that kept on ringing and ringing as if it was following us. We managed to get to our getaway car, but this sound of the bell that was ringing, it was following us. Even our driver, he was asking us, where was this sound coming from? He thought that maybe this bell sound was coming from the engine, but as for me and my other friend, we knew everything that we had seen. Brother Nashi, we arrived at the location safe, and then we split everything, and everything changed, Brother Nashi. The very next morning, I woke up. To my surprise, I could not even move my legs, and I was completely crippled. At first, I thought that maybe I had pulled a muscle or I had slept wrong, but no, something much worse had happened. So my mom rushed with me to the hospital, and the doctors could not find anything that was physically wrong with me. They could not explain how I had gotten paralyzed, like we still had the jewelry before we had sold it, and I was already a crippled guy. That was when I started to realize that this was not some kind of an accident. Something supernatural had happened to me. I spoke with my girlfriend, and then she told me that the pastor had texted her, and the pastor knew everything that we had done. So the pastor wanted us to go and return the items. The pastor said that I want each and every item that you stole from my office, and I can be able to forgive you. But the problem was that when I was at hospital, there was one of the guy that we had worked with. He had already sold some of the items, and my mom, when she heard that this is what we had done, my mom was scared that I was going to get killed. She then transported me to Zim. Brother Nashi, when I was transported to Zim, you know what they did? They placed me at the back of the bus, like the back seat. That was where I was just sleeping there, and when I would feel that it is now too painful, they would come and they would lift me and change me, and so that I can face the other way around. And then I arrived home. My wife, she cried so hard, and when I was home, that was when real tragedy hit me. My daughter, who was only 5 at that time, suddenly she fell ill. She had been perfectly healthy, but within weeks her condition worsened. No doctor could even give us a proper diagnosis what was wrong with her, just like they could not even explain what had happened to me. My little girl, my only child, died in my arms. A few months later, I was completely helpless, crippled, broken, and full of guilt. I knew deep down that this was my punishment for robbing the pastor. I tried to go back to beg for forgiveness, but by then he had left the area. No one knew where he went, and I was left to deal with the consequences of my greed. For 6 long years, I remained crippled, unable to walk. I was bound to a wheelchair. I had lost everything: my health, my freedom, my family. My wife left me soon after our daughter's death, unable to bear the burden of our misfortune. I was left alone with nothing but my guilt and regret. It was until last year that I started seeing a traditional healer. So this traditional healer told me everything that I already knew in my heart. My condition, it is spiritual. The healer said that the pastor placed a curse on me as a punishment of robbing me. I tried to ask my mom to go to the pastor so that she can ask for forgiveness on my behalf, but this pastor says that he wants everything that we stole from him. As for me, the only money that I used that we stole from this pastor, I only bought a quarter. Like they have this other quarter that they prepare there in South Africa. It only costed me, it was 20 rand. That is all that I got from what we stole from the pastor. And what hurts me is that the pastor only decided to curse me. How about the other guys that I was working with? It really gives me sleepless nights, and now I am stuck in a wheelchair. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brother. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Yo.